All right, so let's multiply polynomials, and we're going to utilize the box method here. You could triple distribute here, which is the way I was trained to do it when I was in high school, but the box method is also sufficient. So the first thing you want to do when you're doing the box method is count how many terms you have in each parenthesis. So there are 3 terms here, and there are 3 terms here. So this is a 3 by 3 box that we need to play with. So I'm going to go ahead and click that I need 3 rows and 3 columns, and then it's produced for me, and that's a pretty great generator. And so now what I would do is in the top row and in this first column here, we're supposed to drag these terms in their appropriate locations. Now what I would do, it doesn't matter whether the first one goes on top or vertically, but I just want to put them in order from highest exponent to lowest exponent. Now that doesn't actually matter for your final result. It just makes it easier to get your final result because the like terms will be in the diagonals if you put them this way. So I'm going to drag the highest exponent on the green one there down. And now notice it's there. I could drag it twice and then I'd be wrong. Don't do that. Grab the 6x and then grab the 1, just putting them in descending order of degree exponent. And then I'm going to grab the blue polynomial here. I'm going to put the 2x squared in the first box, and then the 6x, and then the plus 5. So once I have them in order, I am able to now multiply. Now the way that you multiply here is the same way you learned multiplication tables in elementary school. The only issue is now you have the algebra to happen also. So I've got to multiply the 2 times the -3 and come up with a -6 result. And then I also will have an x that needs to be raised to the 4th power. Now what happened there was the 2 got multiplied by the -3 to get -6. And then when I multiply bases, the property of exponent says that when I multiply bases, so this, I'll write it off to the side here, 2x squared times -3x squared. The 2 gets multiplied by the 3, and that gives me the -6 that I just got. And then the x squared times the x squared, the property of exponent says you add the exponents. That's x to the 4. That's why that's happening the way that it is. So we'll continue. I'm not going to write that for everyone, but here we go. The next one, we just multiply in this row. So that's going to be -3x squared times the 6x. So that's going to be the -3 times the 6 is going to be -18. And then we have x squared times another x. So that's going to be x to the 3rd power. So we're just adding powers. There's a 1 there. It's invisible times this 2, or well, adding with the 2 to get the 3. So x squared times x to the 1st. Then in the 3rd column, the -3 times the 5 should be -15, and then keep the x squared. Then I'm going to multiply the 2x squared coming down to the 6x. So I'm working everything here in the 2nd row. So 6x times 2x should give me 12x to the 3rd. And then I'm going to get 6x times 6x, which will give me 36x squared. And then I've got 6x times 5, which should get me 30x. And then this bottom row is actually just going to be a copy of that first row up top, the original polynomial, because anything times 1 is just itself. So 2x to the 2nd, and then 6x, and then 5. So all this is a structured array of products that are results of my multiplication of these 2 polynomials. Now, my answer is everything that's in the box, but we would love to have that be in simplified form. So what I want to do is not just say, hey, the box is my answer. Technically it is. This is the result of multiplication with a bunch of plus signs. But it's pretty ugly to leave it like that. It's best to go ahead and simplify if we can. So now notice what's ideal about the way that I set it up is that with descending order of powers here and here, I now have diagonals that are like terms. It's a really nice feature of these boxes. So this diagonal here, those are like terms. These x squareds in the diagonal are all going to be combined. So I'm just going to, you can stack them or just add them one at a time. But it starts with -6x to the 4th. That's the first one. So -6x to the 4th. And then we're just going to work these out. So -8 15, and positive 2 should give me a negative 6x to the third. And then I've got 2 x's, another 36, so that's 38 x's, and then minus 15, positive 23x squared. And then we've got some x's. I got 30x, another 6x, so plus 36x, and then plus 5. And so we're going to take this whole answer and bring it down in the box. And that is the result of our multiplication. Now, the way I was trained to do it would have been to have not done the box. I would have triple distributed. So I would have taken this 1 and times it by the 6x and gotten 6x. And then I would have taken 1 and times it by the 5 to get positive 5. And then I would have got 1 times 2x and gotten positive 2x squared. And then I'd continue, and as I continue, I would just stack my like terms underneath each other. So I'm done with the 1, then I would focus on distributing the 6x. So 6x times 6x would get me 36x squared. So I put that underneath the x squared here, so 36x squared. And then I take the 6x times the 5, and I would get 30x. I put that underneath here, so 30x. And then I take the 6x and times it by the 2x squared, which is going to give me 12x to the third. That's a new term, so I'm going to put it over here in the back, plus 12x to the third. And then my final product would be the negative 3x squared. Distribute that in there, so that's going to give me negative 18x to the third. Put that underneath here, negative 18x to the third. Distribute over here, that's going to give me a negative 15x squared. And then I'm going to get a negative 6x to the fourth. And then when I vertically add all of my vertically aligned like terms, I will have the same result I had before. It's just going to be out of order because I didn't reorganize my parentheses before multiplying here. So 36x plus 5, and then the 23x squared, and then the negative 6x to the third, and negative 6x to the fourth. And just putting that in the correct order, negative 6x to the 4 minus 6x to the third plus 23x squared plus 36x plus 5 would be the result of multiplication. So less structure, no box, but triple distributing and aligning my like terms will work just the same.